Right, folks, you find us here in Dingwall at the home of the Mighty Staggies with none other than Carlo Tremarco, the assistant manager to Ross County. How are we doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. So before we start, Carlo, an interesting fact about you that nobody will know.
Oh, you could have warned me about this.
Now that's kind of PG-ish.
The PG, I've got a little bit of a guilty pleasure when it comes to music. I'm quite fond of Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, you heard it here first,
Not many
folks.
people know that.
Whitney Houston. I'll always love you, don't worry, I'll always love you. So Carlo, if you could give a bit of advice to a younger self, obviously you've gone through an incredible career path, various pressures throughout. Obviously you're now experienced, you're now seen it from the other side of point of view, managing, assistant managing, in charge of the younger kids, younger guys. A bit of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I think it'd be not to worry about things you can't control. Like obviously a lot of things happen, a lot of things go on, career-wise, injuries, performances, you can't control the non-controllables. Mm-hmm. So I think what's the point in stressing over them?
Yeah.
And I think something that I look back on when I was a youngster, when there was no really talk of mental health and, there was no, it was a bit of, you needed to be macho and bravo to go and speak to people. It looked a bit of a weakness. I think why you're stressing over something that is out of your hands.
Yeah.
I think especially with social media, if that affects you, stay off it. Stay off it. You can't control what people say about you online. You can't control what you see. Well, sorry, you can't. Don't bother with it. But yeah, as a younger me, it'd be don't worry about things you can't control.
And for people out there struggling with what's going on with day-to-day life, struggling with their mental health, what bit of advice could you give them?
I think it's probably the same as what most people would say is, it's okay not to be okay, as we say. Go and speak to someone. Go and speak to a friend, a colleague at work. Even if you start a conversation with a stranger in a coffee shop or, it happens. But you need to get it out. The longer it infests inside is only going to cause more problems for yourself, more problems for family issues or whatever. The problem is you've got to try and get it out, and that's the big step that people need to take. They need to release it. And coming from experience, I think if you do release it, the weight of the world does get off your shoulders.
Yeah.
And I think it's just finding that right person to speak to.